Good morning, students. I am Srutin, your new English teacher. I hope all of you are doing good. Having said that, let us move on to new chapter Robinson Crusoe. We have only a small portion to learn. Robinson Crusoe is a nice and beautifully narrated novel which is written by Daniel Defoe. There you can see a quote from Robinson Crusoe. Fear of danger is 10,000 times more terrifying than danger itself. It is a quote taken from Robinson Crusoe. Before we start, I have a few questions. Have you ever lived with your grandparents? Do you like to hear the old stories of your grandparents? Dear students, I humbly request you to visit your grandparents and spend time with them. They will definitely tell you their stories so that you can know how did they spend their childhood and how was it different from your life today. Also, you have to make a note of it. Here we have some additional knowledge that will definitely help you to enlarge your knowledge. The author, Daniel Defoe, was a writer and a journalist who was born in 1660 and died in 1731. Robinson Crusoe is a novel which was published in 1719. Now we can see a very short summary of Robinson Crusoe. Crusoe was a sailor and a traveler. He finds himself on an island after a shipwreck. He spends many years alone on the island until one day he saves the life of a local tribesman who becomes his devoted companion. Together, they plan to leave the island. This is the very short summary of Robinson Crusoe. Now, let us go through the story. I took Friday to my cave and gave him some bread, a bunch of raisins, and a cup of water. I then told him, by actions, to lie down and sleep on some rice straw and a blanket which I had placed there for him. Dear students, let me explain first paragraph. Here, I means Robinson Crusoe. Robinson Crusoe is narrating the story. He is telling his story to us. Robinson took Friday to his cave and gave him some bread and a bunch of raisins and a cup of water. As we have said, Robinson met with a shipwreck and he was living on an island. On one day, he finds a tribesman and he names him Friday. So the second character is Friday. Crusoe took Friday to his cave and gave him some food, bread, bunch of raisins. Raisins means dried grapes, and a cup of water, and also a place to lie down and sleep. Also his blanket. And how are they talking? They are talking only through actions. Why? Because Friday do not know any language. Friday is illiterate and Crusoe do not know Friday's language. That is why they are using actions and talking. They are communicating each other through actions only. Now, let us move on to the second paragraph. When he woke up, he looked for me. I was out milking my goats. I told him that I will call him Friday, which was the day on which I saved his life. Taking a cup of milk, I drank some of it and moistened my bread in some. I gave Friday a cup of milk. He did the same thing with his bread, showing by signs that he thought it is very good. In this paragraph, we can see why Crusoe called him Friday. Friday woke up from his sleep and came out of the cave and saw that Crusoe is milking his goats. When Crusoe saw him, he said he will call him Friday. Why? Because Crusoe saved this man on the day of Friday. That is why he decided to call him as Friday. He named him Friday because he saved this man on the day of Friday. After that, Crusoe took a cup of milk, drank some of it, and moistened his bread into milk. Moistened means digged. He digged his bread into milk and he ate. Crusoe also gave some pieces of bread to Friday. And Friday also digged or moistened his bread into milk, thinking that it is very good. Why? Because he follows the gestures of Crusoe. I gave him a pair of goatskin trousers, a goatskin coat, a cap made of a hare skin. He was very proud of his clothes, though he hardly knew how to get around in them at first. He had never worn clothes before. Now, I wondered where I should make a bed for Friday. I wanted to be kind to him, and yet I wished to feel safe myself. So I made a tent for him in the space between two fences. This tent opened by a door into my yard. The door was made to lock from the inside, and I locked it and took in my ladder every night, so that Friday could not reach me. Had I known what a true friend he was to me, I should not have wanted to lock him out. Now, what all are the things he gave to Friday? A pair of goatskin trousers, a goatskin coat, a cap made of hare skin. All these things are given by Crusoe to Friday. And Friday was very happy about his clothes. But he didn't know how to wear it because he was not using any dress before that. This is for the first time he is using dress. And also, Crusoe wanted to make a shelter for Friday. So that Crusoe made a tent for Friday in between two fences. And what is the specialty of this tent? It has a door which could be locked only from inside, and every night Crusoe would close the door from inside and he will take his ladder so that Friday cannot reach Crusoe. After a while, Friday knew English so well that I could talk to him about anything that I wished. After some times, Friday learned English very well from Crusoe, and Crusoe is happy about that because Crusoe can talk anything about that he wished. I told him how I happened to be on the island and how long I had been there and what a hard time I had had at first to get food and make a home, and how lonely I had been until he came. Now Crusoe is telling his story about how did he reach that island and what all are the difficulties he had gone through. He found very difficult to get food and he was very lonely for many years until he finds Friday. I also taught him how to plant and harvest wheat and rice and how to make a baskets and dishes. He milked the goats every morning and evening. and made butter and cheese. Now, Friday learned many things from Crusoe. Crusoe taught him how to plant and harvest wheat and rice, and how to make baskets and dishes. He also milked the goats every morning and evening, and even made butter and cheese. One day, I took Friday to see the boats that I had made. He pointed out to the first one and said he thought that it was too small. He liked the size of the larger boat, but it was cracked and rotten. He said that we could sail over to his island in a boat of that size. On a fine day, Crusoe took Friday to see the boats that, that were made by Crusoe. Friday pointed out to the first one and said that he thought it was too small. But what happened to the boat? It was cracked and rotten. He said that we could sail over to his island in a boat of that size. So now a new boat had to be made, and this time I wish to choose a tree near the shore so that we could launch the boat without trouble. Now they have decided to make a new boat, and Crusoe chose a tree nearby the shore so that they can easily launch the boat into the sea. Friday picked out a good tree, for he knew much more about the trees on the island than I did. In about a month, the boat was ready, and a fine vessel it was. I asked Friday if it would work. He said, "Yes, we go over in her very well, though great blow wind." Friday picked up a good tree for the boat because he knew very well about the trees than Crusoe, and they have made a fine vessel within a month. Vessel means boat, same boat itself, and within a month they have completed the work of boat. Now Friday is very confident enough to travel on her to the island, to his island. Now let us continue to read. But I did not intend to start out in the boat as it was. I found some sturdy wood and had Friday shape it as I directed. This was my mast. But what should I do for a sail? There were many pieces of old sails which I had had for 26 years, but they were mostly rotten. I looked them over carefully and found two large pieces which were quite good. These I sewed together. It took about 2 months to get the mast and sail ready. Now the boat is ready to sail, but Crusoe was not ready to sail because he wanted to make some more preparations. He saw some sturdy wood. Sturdy wood means strong wood. Crusoe used Friday to shape those sturdy wood as he wanted. And they took 2 more months to complete their preparations for sail. My next piece of work was making of a rudder, which I fastened to the stern of the vessel. When the boat was all ready, I taught Friday how to use the rudder, and he became a good sailor. But we had to wait for a good weather, for it was now fall. I had been on the island 26 years. I kept this anniversary with a grateful heart. Now everything is ready, the boat is ready, the rudder is ready. Friday learned how to sail, Crusoe taught him how to sail, and everything is ready now. But what happened? Now they have to wait for a good weather. The last 3 years had been the happiest of my life here, for Friday had been a faithful and true friend to me. Now Crusoe says, last 3 years had been the happiest life of his life on the island because Friday had been a good friend to him. I had brought the boat up the creek to keep it safe from the storms, and Friday had covered it so thickly with the boughs of trees that the rain could scarcely get through at all. Creek means the shore of the sea. Bow means piece of wood. Then we waited for November and December, at which time we intended to start on our voyage. Now everything is ready. The boat is ready. Crusoe and Friday are mentally prepared. Everything is well set, everything is ready. But what are they waiting for? They are waiting for a good weather to come. They waited for November and December, at which time they intended to start their journey. So that's it. I hope all of you have enjoyed. Please go through it once again. You may have doubts. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask questions. So thank you guys. Have a nice day. Thank you.